Is God real? This is the most important question every single person faces in their lifetime. But if you want an answer, you'll have to wrestle with this question. Atheists will say no, a theist will say yes, and an agnostic will stick with, I don't know. But no matter where you are with this question, the consequences of your answer are huge. I believe that God is real, and He created everything. And this means there's a reason we are made, and we have a purpose for living. However, the existence of such a God can sound terrifying, overbearing, or downright ridiculous to people who do not have enough evidence in their life to know that He is real. Secular thinking says that our lives came about by accident. All of our experience of life ends at death, and there is nothing more than chemicals in our brains. Towards the end of this video, I am going to give you irrefutable evidence for the existence of God. For now, let's see what people on the street have to say about this. We're out here at Historic Folsom to ask people one big question: is God real?
Is God real? Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, God is real.
Is God real?
I think so.
I believe God is real. If you really believe in like a certain God, you know, like if you have your own God.
Is God real?
Yes.
It is.
Is God real?
To some people, yeah. To me, no.
Is God real?
I don't believe in God, no.
I honestly think that's a very hard thing to say. I've grown up with many different family members who are religious and not religious. So ultimately, I think it's, in your own way, yes. For me, it's hard to say that just because I'm honestly not really sure yet. It's something I'm kind of still trying to figure out.
As you can see, people have different ideas about God. Some of them believe in Him, while others don't. Let's look at why some people said yes.
I didn't even grow up religious. It was a recent thing in my life, but ever since believing and going to church and doing all these different things in my life, my life has honestly looked up like so much. Like so many things have gone better in my life.
He changed my life, so I know what I was and I know what I am now. So.
And why? Why do you believe God is real?
Because we believe in Him and we love Him, and He's helped us a lot in everything. That's what for me is real. That's why.
Ethan, Otto, and Paula trusted God because of their own personal encounters with Him. And when presented with my reason for believing in God, they all agreed that it made sense. They already trusted God. What about the people who said no or were on the fence? Well, let's see what happened when they were presented with a logical argument. And could I give you one really big reason why I believe God is real?
Yeah.
So one reason is because if we look at the camera that we're recording on, right, we see that there's an eye to that camera, we see the body on it, it's complex, it's put together, and we can kind of say, yeah, you know, there's somebody made that camera. Well, it's the same sort of thing I think when I see us. You know, I see our eyes, I see our body, I see how complex we are, how we're put together, and I just kind of think to myself, yeah, it's obvious that this had to be, there had to be a mind behind it. There had to be somebody that created us. And what do you think about that reason?
I don't know. I just think it's kind of in a belief system, and I don't believe it, so.
And so that's one reason why I believe that God is real. And I just want to know what you think about that.
I don't believe that we have one sound creator. I think that we are created up of the earth and that we have adapted through things throughout time. I don't think that somebody placed us here on this earth. It's just my belief.
John seemed to understand the logical reasoning and even had a little smirk as he thought about it. But what happened to his understanding? Well, he went back to his own reason to disbelieve by saying that it's still just a belief system. Addie heard my reasoning, but quickly resorted to another commonly taught belief that we all came from the earth, which I think refers to evolution. Evolving from pond scum is much more illogical to me than the reason that I presented. However, the reason she gave was good enough in her mind to dismiss God. Talia understood my reasoning and agreed completely that it made sense for the existence of God. Now, earlier in this video, I promised to give you irrefutable evidence for God. Well, let's talk about irreducible complexity. Take this mousetrap. There are 5 different pieces that make up a mousetrap. It's all one big system. If you take one piece out of this system and try to reduce it to any one of its pieces, it doesn't make any sense. All 5 pieces have to be put together at once for it to work at all. This means that the system is irreducibly complex. You can't take one piece by itself and make it make sense. The question for evolution would be, which evolved first? Our heart, our blood, our arteries, our veins? It doesn't make sense for any one of these to evolve by themselves and then be put together. All of these pieces have to be there at the same time from the beginning. And that takes a mind to put everything together. This system in our body is irreducibly complex, just like the mousetrap. This is irrefutable evidence for the existence of God. But some people refuse to even consider hard evidence. And why? Well, it's because of their heart. Look at what happened when we asked, what would it take for you to believe in God? What would it take for you to believe in God? Like, is there anything that could?
For me to see him in person.
What's something that would convince you that God is real? Like, what would you need in order to believe that God is real?
I don't think I can put an answer on that. I think it's kind of a I know it when I'll see it.
What would it take for you to believe in God? Like, what would you need?
Honestly, just open community and people who support me no matter what, which is something that I definitely can reach for and that I can have for sure, yeah.
Awesome. John said that God would have to appear to him in person. Addie said that she didn't know what it would take, but she would know it when she saw it. Now, Talia was different. She needed people that she could always depend on, people that she could trust. Then she would believe more in God. Wow. She did not need proof of God's existence. She just wanted to know that she could trust God by trusting more people who believed in him. Now, if we take a look back at John, his response to what he would need seemed to indicate the same want as Talia. John wants a personal encounter with God, not just to know that he is real. Yet, John does not seem to trust God would give that to him as much as Talia did. Now, if we take a closer look at Addie's response, I think she wants God's direct involvement in her life. Why do you say God is not real?
Why?
Yes.
I've just had no proof in my life, I guess.
All 3 of them wanted to know that God exists through personal interaction with him in their life, not through hard physical evidence. Let's take a look at Jim. Jim said that he didn't know, but that he was open to it. He would just need some proof. So I gave him the example about my camera at first, and he said that it was a reasonable reason to believe in God. And when I asked him about his belief again, he said that he still needed proof. But I just gave him some that he said makes sense. So what is going on here? Why did he, John, and Addie reject it? The issue of belief in God is not just about knowing that he is real. That is obvious, as already explained in this video. People want to trust God just as much as the need to know that he is real. Perhaps the best evidence for God is how we as Christians live our lives. We need to show people that they can trust God by being more like him. If all Christians were loving, honest, and trustworthy, how many more people would be willing to believe in God? For those of you that are already doing this, keep up the great work. It really does matter. And what do you think? Feel free to leave your comments down below.